Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spensomatic here, and today we're going to be doing a Pokemon Draft League. And also, we're here with a very shitty mic quality for some reason. We are doing something called a Pokemon Draft League, which is essentially just a fantasy football, fantasy basketball, whatever you guys do. It's just a league for that, where you choose multiple players to play on a team. What I'm going to be choosing is choosing multiple Pokemon from different tiers, so I'm not going to be stuck with all the good Pokemon while all the other opponents have bad Pokemon, so it's kind of like balancing it out. And then after we choose all of our Pokemon, instead of running the luck-based system that the fantasy draft goes to, where it's kind of luck-based but not really, I'm actually going to be battling it out with the other opponents, relying on the Pokemon that I have got for my team. My team right here is the Calgary Yampeders. Now, for those of you from Calgary, you already know who I'm playing words on, which is the CFL League's Calgary Stampeders, and for those who aren't from Calgary, now you know. The Pokemon in the middle is by the name of Yamper, who was a new Corgi Pokemon that was announced for Sword and Shield. This isn't really official art of Yamper, but I got my friend, Michael, or Cherry Cola, to draw him out for me, and I think it's really pretty, and you should go hit him up. Thank you. We're going to be moving on to the team analysis now, and that might sound boring. I'm going to try and make it fun. We'll see. Who cares? I don't know. So we are starting out with my 12th pick, because I was 12th on the draft out of 16, which is a little unfortunate because it's like right in the middle but nearing the end, so it's like not super favorable towards me. I somehow got like the second best Pokemon, and it goes by the name of Landorus. So basically they have a really good typing, where you can see here they are immune to ground, they resist bug fighting poison, they're very weak to, they're good. They have a lot of immunities and only a few weaknesses. The way that I have this thing cropped, I can't exactly show you. I'm going to be explaining it for people that don't understand Pokemon as much as other viewers do, so like, yeah. He looks scary. Let's just get that out of the way. He's in OU, which is like the best tier you can get without being overly broken. He has an ability called Intimidate, which lowers the opponent's attack stat as soon as I get in. So like they're gonna do less damage to me as soon as I get in, which is really nice. And if you look here, this thing it's pretty big. The attack stat that Landorus has, it's pretty darn big, and that's impressive because for some it's so big that I don't actually need to run an attacking playstyle in order for it to still do damage. The best thing about Landorus is that it's very versatile, meaning it can do very different things. And what's great in Draft League is that since my opponents can prepare for the Pokemon that I have, having a versatile Pokemon means that they can't really prepare for it to the fullest extent, because I could run a move or some sort of playstyle that they wouldn't expect, and I'd be able to punish them for it. Yeah, we're going to be moving on to our next Pokemon now. We move on to our second Pokemon now, which is like the 6th best, even though I somehow got it for, I want to say 20th. It goes by the name of Victini. Most of my viewers grew up with Black and White, so they might recognize this bad boy here, even though maybe not, because it's a legendary Pokemon. They have 100 across the board, which actually looks pretty good for both those that don't play and for both those that do play. I think the best thing about Victini, though, is that it's probably the most versatile Pokemon that you can run, maybe besides one more by the name of Magearna, because I would like to show you the moves. I guess I can show you the moves that it gets. Basically, it gets a lot of good moves. See, this does a lot of damage. This does a lot of damage. It gets a lot of good moves. And that's what I like about Victini. It's super good. I somehow got lucky on this pick, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can bring it to some use. We now move on to my Mega Pokemon by the name of Mega Altaria. this Pokemon was a very good choice for me because it has this move called Defog, and in this game, basically, you know how you can switch Pokemon around? There are moves that places like spikes around your opponent's team that can like make them do damage whenever they switch, which no one really wants. So the good thing about Landorus is it has a move that can remove it. The good thing about Altaria is that it has a move that can remove it. And basically, I have a lot of Pokemon that have moves that can remove those little spikes. And while that seems like a little bit excessive, what's best about the Pokemon that I specifically chose is that they can run other things that don't revolve around that move that can remove the spikes. Altaria has some good stats here, a lot of stuff over 100, which means that it can both run attacking, like an attacking playstyle or a defensive playstyle, because it's got some pretty good defense too. So that's my Mega. It's pretty good, I'm gonna be honest. It has a really good typing too, lots of resists, only a few weaknesses, but it's fine, you know, it's fine. We now move on to our 5th Pokemon, where I'm actually not counting how many choices I got, because for some reason that's just a lot of math, and I'm really not in the mood for that. But we have Empoleon. Now, this dude, while his stats don't exactly look good, especially his speed stat, which is in the red, it's got some really good moves that it can use to hit people hard. It has that Defog move that can remove the spikes. It has this move called Stealth Rock, which are the spikes, so he can do both at once. Or he can run like other playstyles where it's mainly attacking, because if you look at this dude's special attack, it's pretty darn high. So I'm hoping that it can work pretty well, because it's going to be a good utility Pokemon, which means it can help me with all the utility related things. Yeah, we now got our 2nd underused Mon, which is like the one right below overused, and Nihilego. This Mon, honestly, it looks pretty good. If you like ignore its defense stat, it looks pretty good. You think that its attack stat would be bad, but the thing about attack and special attack is you only really have to run one of them, and so this basically doesn't matter at all. What's great about this is it's got a pretty good typing. It's got an amazing ability where every time it gets a kill, it raises its most highest stat. So theoretically, I could have it increase its special attack or have it increase its special defense, because I can just play around with the stats in the team builder. And it's great because it has the spiking move that I was talking about, Stealth Rock, but it also has this move called Toxic Spikes, where it places, well, toxic spikes on the ground, and it poisons the Pokemon, which puts them on a timer, which is really good for applying offensive pressure. Yeah, I'm trying to explain this like in the most newbie way possible. Please be patient with that. Next, we got the Lawnmower Pokemon, Rotom Mow. It's a grass type. I don't have any grass types, so like it's kind of just, you know, something that I kind of need. It's got some good stats here besides its life stat, its HP stat. It can do a lot of things too. It's pretty versatile. All the Pokemon that I've chosen up to now can actually do so many things, and I'm glad that that's like the playstyle that I'm going to be able to play. Also, some of them are like super tanky, so they're able to like not get hit for very hard, and some of them are super offensive, so they can hit for hard, and it's called like a balanced playstyle, which I'm hoping to be running. So yeah. Next, we got Slurpuff. Now, it's in this thing called RU, which means rarely used, which is one under. It says NUBO, which means it's banned from NU, but it's not used enough to be an RU, so it's kind of stuck in the middle. Basically, its stats don't exactly look good, which is kind of why it's lower on the thing. But it has two gimmicks that, three gimmicks that I can use. One, using this move called Sticky Web, which is kind of like the Spike move, but instead of doing damage, it lowers the speed, so I can be faster than a lot of things. It also has this move called Belly Drum, which maximizes its attack stat. like it makes this times 4, which is like 320 attack, which is a lot. It's quite a bit. And you combine that with this move called Unburden, which means if you lose your item, you double your speed. So what Slurpuff can do is use Belly Drum, which halves your attack but maximizes your, or which halves your health but maximizes your attack, and then uses a move to give yourself some healing after you have your HP, and then it just becomes an unstoppable force. And I was really happy to get this pick because I thought it would have been picked earlier. So yeah. As I progress with like detailing my Pokemon, you're just gonna see it kind of gets more and more worse, which isn't bad because I got some really good Pokemon, and I guess what goes up must come down. My face cam is also dark as hell, holy shit. We got this Pokemon called Pangoro, which is pretty good. It has 3 really good abilities, which I'll explain like when I use them. It's got a good typing. It's in this tier called NU, which is never used, which is under RU. It has a good attack stat, but kind of mediocre in everything else. But what's great about it is that it's got a good typing, and it has this priority move called Bullet Punch, which means it goes first, no matter how fast the other Pokemon is, which is really good because I don't have any of that so far. So yeah, that's Pangoro.
And next off, we have Comfey. This is a Pokemon that doesn't have the best for the top 2, but the bottom 2 are really good, and they have this really good ability called Triage, which means that all healing related moves goes first, basically. So if I do a move that like drains my opponent's health, that goes first. So it's really good for priority. It's a good it's another utility mon that I like, but it can also be offensive. And I'm just really liking the choices that I'm making right now. For my second last Pokemon in untiered, or ZU, the worst tier, we have this Pokemon called Pyukumuku. And while it's in the worst tier, it's not actually as bad as you think. It has 2 amazing abilities in Innards Out and Unaware. Unaware means that if your opponent boosts its attack, it doesn't affect my Pokemon. It's just unaware about these boost changes. If you look at its stats, its attack, its special attack, and its speed suck, but its defense and special defense are super good. So it's gonna make for a nice stall Pokemon. It's gonna kind of help me with Pokemon that I can't deal with because of that ability Unaware, but also because it'll be able to take like multiple hits. And lastly, we have Aurorus. This is my final Pokemon, even though I thought we could have 12. Turns out I cannot have 12, so those 12 dots below, only one of them is not going to be filled up, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. Aurorus also has 2 good abilities in Refrigerate and Snow Warning. Snow Warning means that it'll start a hailstorm whenever Aurorus enters the stage. And Refrigerate means that all normal type moves turn into ice type moves with boosted damage. So it's really nice. The stats are pretty good, and there are some opponents that I'm going against that will bring Pokemon that cause hail, or Pokemon that will cause like rainstorms or droughts. And Aurorus is a nice like counterbalance to that, and will be able to cancel out that weather to make it more even.
And now, Spencer from the future here, wearing a different shirt, because this actually came as news to me. We are drafting Z Crystals. Now, for those who don't know what Z Crystals are, they're basically little crystals that power up your move to very, very strong amounts, but you can only do it once per game, right? So, we drafted those, and I got Electric type Z Crystal, which means that any Pokemon I have that can learn an electric move can use the Z power for that electric move, and it'll be super high power. And I have a lot of Pokemon that actually use electric moves, so it'll be super high power, and I'm just hoping that it turns out well.
So that's my team. I tried to like make it easy for everyone to understand what the team does. I'll go into further depth about what it's going to do each game as those games progress. But that's my team for the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed and are looking forward to me playing in the league. I'll try and provide some interesting commentary because, you know, my commentary right now kind of sucks balls. Also, the audio got better for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why, but I'm not gonna question it. Stay sexy, y'all. Adios.